All right, we're going to talk about polygons in the coordinate plane. So you're going to want to make sure that you can you remember how to graph and stuff like that. So the distance formula. Distance formula is d equals the square root of the quantity x sub 2 minus x sub 1 quantity squared plus quantity y sub 2 minus y sub 1 quantity squared. That whole thing square rooted, okay? This is used to determine if sides or diagonals are congruent. The midpoint formula, m equals x1 plus x2 over 2, comma y1 plus y2 over 2. This is used to find the coordinates of the midpoint of a side or a diagonal bisect. The slope formula is y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1, used to find whether lines are parallel or perpendicular. Okay, so is triangle ABC scalene, isosceles, or equilateral? So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to graph it 0, 1, 4, 4, and 7, 0. Okay, so this is A, B, C. I'm going to see if it's, because this is talking about sides. So I'm going to use the distance formula here. So I'm going to find the distance here of AB is going to equal the square root of 4 minus 0 squared plus 4 minus 1 squared. So this gives me 4 squared plus 3 squared, which is 16 plus 9, which is 25, which is 5. So this distance here is 5. Okay, now I'm going to find BC. So I'm going to go the square root of 4 minus 0 squared plus 4 minus 7 squared. That gives me the square root of 4 squared plus negative 3 squared, which is going to give me 16 plus 9, which is the square root of 25, which is 5. So this is 5, this is 5. I already know that it's not scalene because they're not different. Now I need to see if this one's 5 to see if it's equilateral. So AC is going to be, when I flip these, those are my Y's, those are my X's. So this is 7 minus 0 squared plus 0 minus 1 squared, which gives me 7 squared plus negative 1 squared, which is 49 plus 1, which is the square root of 50. It is not 5, so this is an isosceles triangle. Okay, determine if the image is a rhombus by using the slopes of the diagonal. So I need to find the slopes. Well, this is the point negative 2, 1. This is 6, 5, and this is 2, negative 3, and this is negative 6, negative 7. Okay, so I'm going to find my slope of CA, which is going to be negative 3 minus 1 over 2 minus negative 2, so negative 4 over 4, which is negative 1. So this is negative 1. Okay, now I'm going to find the slope here. So the slope of BD is 5 minus negative 7 over 6 minus negative 6. So here we get 12 over 12, which is 1. So are these these are perpendicular slopes because M1 times M2 equals 1. Negative 1 times 1, which equals negative 1. So this is a rhombus because the diagonals are perpendicular. Okay, so we're going to classify the image by connecting the midpoints. So I want to know what the image of the midpoint. So this looks like a kite. So we're going to find the midpoint. So the midpoint between here is negative 5 plus 2 over 2 and 7 plus 6 over 2. So that gives me negative 3 over 2 and 13 over 2, which is 6 halves. So 3 1/2, 1 1/2, 1. So right here. Okay? Now I'm going to find the midpoint over here. So I have the midpoint between 5 plus 2 over 2, 6 plus negative 3 over 2, 7 over 2, and 3 over 2. So 7 over 2 is 3 1/2, 3 1/2, right there. Okay, well, no, I take that back. It's 1 1/2. So 7 1/2 is 3 1/2, should be about right there. Okay, now we're going to go down to this bottom one. So I have 5 minus 4 over 2. 0 minus 3 over 2, so I get 1/2, and negative 3 halves is 1/2, so about right there. And now our last one. So we get negative 5 minus negative 4 over 2, 7 plus 0 over 2, so negative 9 halves, 7 halves, 4 1/2. About right there. So now I'm going to connect these. And what is that shape? Well, that shape is a rectangle. So we had to find our midpoint and then look at classifying it. Okay. Where does the general keep his armies and his sleeveys? And why aren't koalas actual bears? Because they don't meet the qualifications.